Well, hey, this is E.B. Tolbert with Nemesis Comics, and today I'm going to be doing Invincible 91. Invincible is one of my favorite comic series, so I'm kind of excited about this one. Alright, here we go. And here we have a big, exciting cover, which Invincible's kind of known for that. I love Ryan Oatley's work. Cliff Rathburn's inks. Magnificent. Mwah! And so, nice dramatic introduction here. Nice leaning. It tilts everything this way, just so you kind of end up doing that kind of zigzag pattern across the way you read. For Western audiences, this is like perfect. You have this nice picture of Thrag here and leaning across. I'm not sure what this is here at the bottom. I don't know if that references to like earlier work or if it's... Oh, okay, I get it. It's the windows here. They're just broken and... Okay. Sorry, I was reading those as panel lines in between. Dramatic, brooding, using a lot of dark backgrounds known as chiaroscuro to kind of pop out the image. I mean, it's in space too, and there's a lot of darkness in space. See the way that tapers this way, and here again. See how smoothly that reads? Not only is the art amazing, but these figures are really sharply rendered, but just enough cartoon to them to make them really like grab your eye. You know, as much as I like photorealism, I will always go for a slightly more cartoony look as far as my preference. I don't know why I was gesturing to myself, you can't see that, but it's a big gesture. But see the way these panels read this way. They read like this so that you go here and then automatically go to the opposite side and then read across opposite side. But that slight tilting leads to the next panel. That just helps the whole thing flow. And because these are happening almost simultaneously. So her weapons kind of cradle the speech there. It's a slight offset of the normal reading pattern, but that works because it is happening almost all at the same time. Nice silhouette shot. Close up, silhouette. Nice. And I do have to mention that the color work thus far is amazing. Like Ryan Oatley, he sets up such a brilliant panel and gives such great expressions. And I can't honestly remember if it offsets the narrative, but this whole next 2 pages takes place in a really austere setting. And I don't know if that's to really bring out... to really bring out the emotion of the dialogue and all that. But all these faces clearly convey the information. And see, look, see the way her body is positioned against his, and even the way this trails out this way. So it brings your attention here, and then just effortlessly guides the eye across. And then you immediately go here, and then the eyes just... Do you see the way this just kind of perfect? I can't get enough of it. And so even her gaze, which leads here, see the way that zigzags across the page? That's just to make it easy to read, make it more comfortable. That way, at no point in here are you lost. At no point are you separated from what you're reading. And it helps like just bring you deeper into the story. Beautiful stuff. And like I said again, the color work, outstanding. I know it's all digital and a lot of people scoff at digital coloring these days, but it just gives a crispness. It's not overdone, it's not flashy. The color work here is brilliant. Same with that good storytelling. You have your character that speaks first here in the background. See how these thick lines, and even this thing that extends from the foreground to the background, the lines on it are really thick and clunky. Not clunky, but thick and, let's say, juicy. It's juicy, and then it just kind of tapers back, getting smaller as it goes towards the back. And see how thick and deliberate these lines are, and these are very thin and scant, but still give a good indication of what they're depicting, showing some good emotion there. Same here. Great, just talking panels, because talking panels could get tedious and boring very easily. And usually on the last panel of a page you want to kind of harken back a little bit, but not disrupt the flow. So it's coming and then it angles back and then it comes through. Oh, and we have another action panel. These colors are such in contrast to what we've seen so far. This is like bright and shiny and glossy. That is a really weird creature, and I appreciate its weirdness. These little glowy eye nodules or whatever. Beautiful stuff though. Look at all these details. Every time I look at Ryan Oatley's art, I feel like I learned something from it. Yeah, a lot of movement, a lot of action. But this one, compared to a lot of his stuff, almost seems like a snapshot. I'm sure we'll get into like the more... Yeah, see, this has a lot of movement to it. He's blasting here. He's strangling whatever this weird blue fruit is. Balancing dialogue and speech here. Rap, bazap. Wow, look what I found. Bazap. Alan, always looking cool. Simple design, but so awesome. Oh yeah, look, see the movement and the action here? You have what would normally just be a blackened out area to show shadow, but he's used it to show motion. Cutting into it from this side and stretching it back this way. And choosing not to show any more details on the hand than necessary and putting more detail into what's around it. Krakoom! I like the little almost infinity symbol made out of the O's and Krakoom! I have to say, the onomatopoeias are pretty cool in this, but I prefer hand-done onomatopoeias, but that's neither here nor there, because that really doesn't doesn't hinder this whole. Oh, okay. I was like, why would they just show such a blank panel there? But then it's Eve's force field coming down. So. Oh yeah, see? Look at these lines here. And this stuff that is like right there next to the viewer, thick and super detailed. You have so much more detail here than you do over here. And she's still fairly large in the panel, but he's chosen to show a little less detail on her, just to really make the details pop out on Tech Jacket here. Very nice. Eve's hair is very nicely rendered. It's not too formulaic. It's kind of messy, but it looks real. Nice little silhouette panel here. Just like in a movie, to give a sense of scope, you really need to take a step back and to be able to see the whole of what you're looking at. Especially, this is an exit scene. They're not going to be on this planet anymore in this issue. So to use the silhouettes and to really pull away from your actors, it's a great choice. And I'm not sure, I don't think I've ever read Robert Kirkman's scripts or anything. So I don't know how much of this is laid out in detail in his script and how much is done by Ryan Oatley. I would say it's probably a 50-50. That's usually how things end up. A director, you know, the writer, has his idea of how he wants everything to look. And he'll tell you how he wants it to look. But then sometimes you'll try things that are slightly outside the box. And that's your contribution, you know. Not only is the artist the actors in a scenario, he's also the cinematographer. So he will add his own input to how things look and how things are positioned. And sometimes a writer won't specify those kind of things at all. And you're just left to decide on your own. Which, depending on your dichotomy, that can either be amazing or it can be stifling and make the whole book run really slow. So I'm not sure how they were able to get all these issues out on time. So no doubt they trust each other and they can smoothly lay things out in a way that each other benefits and understands. I don't remember what Dinosaurus's human name is, but I love what initiates the transformation. It's he's triggered by apathy, which I think for a lot of us stuck at home during the COVID stuff, that would happen all the time. Not true apathy, you know, but anyway. So these are talking head panels, and what's really important to talking head panels is a great range and clearness of emotion, which, you know, is laid out in spades. And that's one of the many great benefits of leaning into cartoon. The same reason why in a movie they would choose melodrama over true to life authentic drama. Melodrama is just drama amplified. And so with cartoons and more cartoony comic art, all the emotions are amplified because you're trying to convey this with a static panel instead of a moving object. I think that's a better way to go. I like the way these hands are drawn. They're lumpy, but they're like, I don't know, they feel very realistic. You know, I like he's like clawing at his chest, kind of. I don't remember if they showed it in earlier issues. I'm pretty sure they do, but I would like a slightly more horrific transformation, you know, montage. They've probably beat it to death by this point because, let's see, this is 98. Is that what issue this is? Or 91. 91. What did I say, 98? Yeah, anyway. But yeah, Dinosaurus is really cool looking. He's like Spinosaurus, T-Rex, not Velociraptor, because that's the one that they misnamed in the Jurassic Park movies. Deinonychus. That's what the raptors in Jurassic Park are based off of. See, that shows really good perspective without having to show it. Well, it also shows how just incredibly large he is in compared to Mark's or Invincible's character. This is when after Mark had been. Okay, I'm not. Sorry, I didn't want to give away any story spoilers because Invincible is amazing. You should read it from start to finish. Here's Invincible's temporary replacement bulletproof come busting through. Shows great. Like, look at all this debris. And he hasn't taken so much time to where it's like it's hard to read. Ram. It's larger, so it should be ram. There we go. Gotta say it manly. Fuck. Nice setup. I like this hazing in towards like that. The action lines. Usually action lines are done kind of the opposite, where you have the black on the exterior. But I guess because he's in a dark environment, they've done it. Ryan's done it the opposite. You get this touching scene and with all this like violence in the background. Ryan's also really good at, like, I'm sure there's some rhyme or reason to this, like all these wires and cables and stuff, but probably not. Probably just that's the way it felt right in his head. I know Dinosaurus is you know, a dinosaur, but I'm still a little unnerving to see him completely nude. Anytime you have an intelligent creature that is just stark nude, it's it's a little off-putting. See, there again, that's really emphasizing how big Dinosaurus is. Now that I'm saying that name out loud, it's really silly, but the character was really well fleshed out. You have kind of a goofy idea with a goofy name that ends up being a cool character. That happens sometimes. Sometimes you make the character that you think is going to be the dumbest thing ever, and you just joke around, throw it out, and then all of a sudden people really latch onto it, and you're stuck using that character a lot, and there's nothing wrong with it. Ram. Croom. Croom? Oh, he's punching him in his belly. It's an odd sound effect for a punch. Croom. Crom. That's another cool thing. Even though Invincible's like a normal sized guy, everybody else in the comic is so much larger than he is. Look how little he is next to Alan. It's a great emotion, like it's anger, confusion, it's all the things it needs to be. Same here. And Alan is just sort of perturbed that he's been punched. Doop. See, it didn't even make a sound effect because it's so weak. Ooh. Yeah, Ryan Oatley's really good at that too. Like, you have this kind of fun cartoony stuff, and then this ew, 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 so gross. But yeah, see how this panel's set up? Nice thick lines, pushes it into the foreground, and then you have the reaction of Eve to this mess here, and then you even have Bulletproof. So you have all these characters on this side of Mark, and then you have Eve and Bulletproof behind him. And he's even taking the time to articulate all this, even though some of these wires and stuff look more like entrails, but you know, nothing wrong with that. Just interesting. Good cross-hatching. Very, like, linear cross-hatching like that is very satisfying to the eye. That's why people use it. Same here, like, not quite cross-hatching, but bridging the gaps between your dark areas and your light areas with that feathering. Yeah. But it's fun to do a comic book that's just almost above reproach. You know, like, just beautiful stuff. Go and look at Invincible if you want a master class in how to set up a superhero comic. Beautiful stuff. Alright guys, that's the end of Invincible 91. Go find some comic books, give them some love. Love you guys. Bye.
Hey there, friends, foes, and all those in between. If you guys want to see more content from us, make sure you subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and if you have any comments or questions that you really want to know, leave them down below. And we'll see you guys next time.